The whole purpose of this video is to add a neat landmark here where our end portal appears, and that's it. I don't know where I got this idea, it just occurred to me all of a sudden that I wanted to do some kind of wizard's tower in this location, so I made a quick sketch of my idea and just transformed that sketch into Minecraft. Nothing too crazy about it, it's just a single tower, but it will be something to break up the landscape and provide an interesting marker for the fortress / end portal. I did a bit more planning on this build than most of the other things in this world. I first did that sketch I showed you, but I also built the whole thing in creative, or just a rough skeleton of it, and then I built it in survival while referencing screenshots. I wanted to still build it from scratch without using the Litematica, but I did still pre-design it. It's a very simple design too. Most of it is switching out to different blocks and changing the size of the circle I'm building, so it really was building a bunch of different size circles on top of each other while changing the block you're using and making interesting patterns in that way. I would have liked to make it a little more detailed with rooms and things inside, but I didn't bother with that since this was really just to be something to look at from the outside more than anything. I purposefully chose colors that went along with the end portal look. Oddly enough, usually when I think of the end, I think of purple, but the color of the end portal itself is that teal color, or like the ender pearl color mixed with the end stone. This brings up a very good point. Why are ender eyes teal and green, and enderman eyes are purple? And everything else in the end is purple except for the ender eyes and the end portal. I guess we'll never know. Another idea I had with this tower was to make it look like it was escaping the end dimension. That's why the choice of color was so important to me, because I wanted it to match the end. I probably could have done more with it in that respect, making it look like it was emerging more out of the ground. I tried to hint at that by adding a few extra pillars around it, like they were kind of poking through from another dimension. Maybe I'll add more of these later, but even just a few of those helps give that hint of that's what's happening here in this location. My mind was sort of blanking when it came time to doing the interior of the build. I did have that handy dandy sketch of the exterior, but had no clue what to do on the inside. So I went with my first instinct, which was to dig a hole straight down to where the end portal is. I knew I wanted to have some kind of way to get down there, so I decided to add a staircase going around the whole side. But outside of that, I didn't really add much detail. I probably could have made it even more detailed with rooms and levels that you could actually walk around. But really, the whole point of this tower was an entrance to the end portal, so I tried to keep it a little bit simpler. Well, now that that is finally done, we can get a look at it from the perspective of if you're approaching it by the sky. This is probably how most people will not be seeing it, but it does look pretty awesome once it does come into view. So it's just in this direction a little bit. Ah, there it is. Yes, it definitely does look a lot better from a distance than it does up close. So let me fly around it a few more times and just admire it. I kind of wish we did have more going on at the base, more things spread around it to add to it. It just feels so lonely all by itself. Maybe we'll add something to it later. Maybe if I get inspired to add something. Right now, I don't really have any... This is the only staircase I have going up there. It's really not that fancy. I wanted it purposely, though, to blend in with the mountain, and I didn't really want it to stand out and distract from the actual tower. So we do have a somewhat of a staircase that goes up to it. And then you've got your spiral staircase that leads all the way down to the portal, which is much easier and faster to fly down there, but this does look cool, you have to admit. And I didn't really notice it before, but looking down here, it almost looks like an ender eye. Like the portal is the pupil of the eye, and then this is the shape of an eye. Maybe I could have gone off of that idea even more if I had colored the floor to look like an ender eye. I didn't even think about it though, but it's just a funny coincidence. Let's fly down here. This also looks really cool from the top, and I'm going to go down there so you can see what it looks like from down there. So in here, if you look up from the portal, this part looks really cool. Doesn't that look so cool? I love the swirling of the staircase. It's too bad it does stop short there and it doesn't continue all the way up, although I don't really feel like continuing it, but for what is there, that is really awesome. And if you notice, I do have the skylights up there just to provide a little bit of light in here. And I think it works well for whatever it is. Really, there's no point of this tower being here other than a landmark and to look awesome. And I think it accomplishes that. Now I just have to do a quick tour with shaders because I always forget to do this when I'm actually building it until I get to the video, and then I'm like, oh yes, I need to look at it with shaders. But look at this, isn't that awesome? Look at the light coming down from there. That is so atmospheric, I love it. Oh, I just love looking up. That's just an awesome screenshot right there. So cool. And this staircase doesn't look too different with shaders, but see the natural lighting mixed with the warm light of the torches. I just love the atmosphere it makes. I'm just obsessed with skylights and natural light in this game, especially when you mix it with deep underground builds like this. It just makes the whole place feel... I don't really know how to describe it. It just looks different, especially with the shaders. The shaders really does help improve the look. Let's fly out here and see what it looks like from the outside with shaders. Probably a little bit different because, yeah, got a lot of glowing pieces to it, so it really does light up. I'll have to see what this looks like at night too, but this looks pretty awesome in the daytime. I think, personally, it looks better without the shaders during the daytime, but I want to see how this will look at night, so I should probably wait and see what it looks like then. The moon is rising. Let's get a look at it with some shaders at night. I haven't seen this yet, and I kind of hope it loads in before I actually get there, but chances are it won't. Where is it? Somewhere over here. Yes. Oh, that's so majestic in the moonlight. Let me get another look at it from over here. Ooh, that has a completely different vibe to it, and you see a little bit of glowing around the base of it because there is some crying obsidian down there, so there is a little bit of light coming from down there. That looks awesome though. Oh, how cool would it be to add more of those little towers all over the mountainside? Just miniature versions of this one. That was one of the ideas I had, but I wasn't sure if it was necessary because I kind of like the idea of just a single tower. And look at the lights coming through the lecterns, that's awesome too. Wow, I really like it. I am happy with all of those lights. It really makes it look even more epic at nighttime. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this build for what it is. It's not that complicated, but it is still quite large and interesting to look at. Although, I say it wasn't complicated, but this staircase was giving me some major issues. I forgot to mention it before, but I actually made a mistake on this staircase that you can't even notice. But somewhere around the halfway point, I was off by a block, and I discovered it only when it was mostly done. So I never fixed it. But somewhere in here, I think this might be the spot. These two stairs are not supposed to be stairs. One is supposed to be a slab. And yeah, I threw off the whole staircase when I got to that point, but you honestly wouldn't notice unless you were me and you were the one building it. So it looks fine, but it's not without its mistakes, and it's not without its potential for improvement. Hope you guys liked it. Look forward to seeing you in another video. I will see you later. Bye.